3:47. Where is everybody?
And don't know, don't care, we're here on time.
All right.
So we'll call the meeting to order. And the first item is drainage and storage containers. Kurt,
All right.
at all, whoever else wants to speak up.
Where would you like to?
Over to John's.
I just don't want to block him off.
Thanks,
I want to
John.
sit right in front of you.
I just made a sketch based on that email I sent, that was kind of wordy.
So Julie gonna do these minutes from the tape?
From the tape.
Okay, just wanna make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah, so Dawn and Bob and I went up, whatever it was, a couple weeks, a few weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago anyway, and did some test bits because we were trying to do it during the wet time of year there. So basically, I came up with this sketch that shows some under drains and some swales and taking out the berm or whatever along those lines. And so anyway, I guess if I'm really going to do it properly, I need to do some surveying of what's actually there now. So I was going to get together with Ron Briggs, if you guys are agreeable, and map the existing conditions that are there now. You know, I think we mapped it previously, but it's all been altered, so it's kind of needs to be updated. So I'm going to do a good, grading sketch there.
You talking about everything under those 6?
Yeah, I mean, the pads on the left were all installed by Pat last year.
Right.
But kind of, each was just making it work with minimal budget there, so we put in minimal amount of gravel, and we were gonna put some fabric underneath it, and the fabric, what was cost or whatever, the fabric didn't go in either, but, so I guess if we wanna do it right this time, we should probably put together a plan and make it thorough.
Yeah.
So I was gonna get together with Ron, if you guys are agreeable, and I'll do a little bit of surveying, and then I'll put together a plan, and I can come up with a cost estimate, and then we can ship it out to contractors, or we can talk with the road crews and see if they wanna do it, or have time to do it, or have the ability to do it, or...
Right. Okay, I mean, it sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah. I have no idea
Can I
cost until
Yeah.
I'm due.
say something? We've been looking at areas, and I don't want to overstep you or anything, but we thought if we put it off where we're parking now, it would be minimum work, it's always dry, and it would be a lot less work.
Up front.
Yeah.
That's where I pulled over today
Yep.
when I was there.
side, yeah, that's what we're going for there.
Do you think that
We would have to build up a little bit.
is there room for 6 containers there? Is that what
I
you?
did write a brief thing. We figured if we went side by side, we could get 7 containers in there.
Okay.
And if we, what we were thinking, if we bought another container and had, when they came up to deliver it, have them set the other
Place them.
containers for us, then that's eliminating some more costs.
Well, we're not gonna buy a container, just have them move them out.
Well, no, we can use more containers, but
We're operating now up there efficiently enough where we're filling those containers and could use another one?
oh yeah.
Okay. Is that level?
It's pretty level.
Seems fairly level there, but.
We would have to
From driving.
build it to extend out a little bit toward the tree line.
Uh-huh.
And if the highway department brings it up, we can compact it down and do it.
Okay.
I
Where
can,
would parking become? Where would you guys park?
We could park over on the other side there. Even if, everybody said even if we had to park down below it, would be fine, but it just, it's kind of centrally located, the other is too, but
You mean park up above where the containers are now, or where they are on the map?
We could
now?
park up on that side there by the gas pump or the fuel pump, or we could park down below.
Okay, you can figure that
My
out.
question is snow plowing.
We have to remove snow anyway. It will be sitting back a little bit. It's a solid ground where,
So the plows can go by, but they'll be plowing right,
oh yeah, no, they can go by.
yeah, but they'll be plowing right into the front.
Blading all the snow right in front of it.
Well, right now, they pretty much just make a big pile in a couple places and that's it. We go up and move all the snow.
Okay.
So you're saying if they sweep around here as they plow, and these containers are all lined up like this, right?
Yep.
I mean, they could just, blade away from it. Might even be more efficient to plow.
No, you can't.
I don't know.
You'll be up, you can't, they don't go that way.
What's that?
They don't go that way. The plow throws the snow to the right.
Right, going counterclockwise, so if they
But
want
see,
to.
if they came up and put it in the middle,
Yeah.
most of the time what they do now anyway is put everything in the middle or over by the construction.
Mm-hmm.
And we just bucket it out every time we have a snowstorm.
Okay.
What about, it says in your letter you're not in the way of people going out, but it seems to me you would be.
Well, see, the truck would be right here, the people are
I'm
coming
talking
around that way. And we would be in between the truck and the containers on the side there. And we'd have plenty of room if we extended that out this way. Then we can set the containers back a little bit farther from the road, and we would be coming up this side of the truck, and the people still get by the truck.
What truck you talking about?
The trucks that we're loading,
Take the stuff
when we
away.
take the stuff out of the
What
containers.
about, you're loading the containers? Isn't that gonna be crossing the traffic?
We cross the traffic to go over to this.
Okay.
Let me just, I'll throw out a couple thoughts here. So, the way, on the other one, I was leaving room in front of them for maneuvering in and out of the container. Something like, I think 28 feet I've got between the containers, so we'd have plenty of room to swing in and out. So if you put those containers there, you're probably gonna have to clear, I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but you'd have to clear, probably fill, I don't know, 20 or probably maybe 30 feet into the woods.
No, you wouldn't need that much.
Unless, if you wanna back out really close to the traffic, I guess that's your decision, but I was trying to keep it so that you don't have cars zipping by you as you're going in and out of the containers, I mean, if you're backing in and out of the containers. That's, if that's good with you, that's fine with me, I'm not the one.
Yeah, because we measured it out and it wouldn't be that much, it would be probably 10 feet in.
How much room are you allowing in front of the containers for backing, maneuvering in and out of the containers?
So we'd probably have 12 feet or more than that.
Compared to how you park now, where the back of your vehicles are, where the containers come out as far as your vehicles do right now? Or would they be-
No, they would be set back farther.
Okay, thank you.
So your plan, Burr, was to go up and put together a proposal to clear that up and
Do the drain.
figure out what you needed for drainage, whether there was fabric that needed to be involved or how much fill. And I think whatever we do this time, we want to like follow the recommendations, number one. And then number two, when you're up there then, can you walk through this with Dawn and then, come back with a rough costed out proposal for each way? I don't know. At least at that point, we'd have some sort of evidence or facts.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. I think we should go up there and just at least I'll even stop in after the meeting and just take a look, just make sure there's enough room. I mean, they looked at it, so I would assume they got a good feel. Again, my concern there was people backing out close to the cars coming around and out. And then where are you gonna put the loading dock at that point?
It could still stay there or we could scoot it over.
Keep it here, you mean?
Yeah, or we could scoot it over a little bit if there's a concern about the cars getting by, but.
Right, 'cause, I mean, the way graded here, there's not much room to sneak by the side. I'm not saying you can't. Probably get it.
Where would you
But that's,
move it to the left facing this? That way?
We could, but,
But it's,
and of course, the
So you
containers,
want
the
to,
three
that's the truck
containers
that's
that
gonna
are
fill
there,
it, right?
right,
the three containers that are there, we're going to move.
right,
Because one's gonna go for tires and in the
Yep.
back there.
okay.
so we'll move the fuel tank too, do you think, or no?
We moved it before, but I don't really think we would have to.
Well, if you guys are gonna go up there and kind of scope out both of these options, if you know, I mean, you can go up there and have a look-see tonight, but that wouldn't really get you
Yeah.
all the information you need. If you guys can let us know
Well, it'll take-
what the day and
Really
time
easy.
is that you're doing that, and then we can come up if we want or are able and do, and be part of the walkthrough.
Sure.
Can,
So how does that sound?
fine. The other thing is, we are right now, whenever we do one of these, like if we adopt something that Dawn's proposing, those containers don't all have to be exactly together. I mean, they don't, if we can leave 2 or 3 somewhere in the area they are now, if there's some dry land, I don't know. In other words, the containers don't have to all be exactly together. You don't have to have the whole line of them in one place.
Right. You could have some there and some
Right.
further back
Yeah.
if you want.
And I don't know if there's enough usable land further back without doing much work to have 2 or 3 and then 3 or 4 out here or something. You see what I mean? I mean,
Combination of the two.
There's no reason they all have to be all here or all here.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm thinking of, if they're going perpendicular to that road, then there's probably enough room to get a fair number of them in that
Yeah,
area.
that's fine.
You know, we only leave a little space in between them, so when you open
Right.
doors, they
Yeah.
don't block them, but you probably get a fair number in there.
This would be the least work to do it, less work would have to be done to go here.
Yeah.
It does seem
I
like
just
that
have to see how
might
much
be the case.
filler has to go in there to pull that off.
Obviously, the shaded spot is not to scale, this, but doesn't need to be to get a sense of what's going on,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
you can see how long the 40-foot containers are to scale
Right,
above. So
right.
those are gonna come down and they'll be, you
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're gonna be quite a bit wider than, looks like those are about twice the width just about of the shady area.
Could you show me on this one where
What do
you
you
guys
think?
park right now?
Potential.
Where the blue thing is on those.
Yeah, I know, I'm just having a hard time going from one to the
I
other.
didn't bring my cheese.
That's okay, that's
I know,
Okay,
keep of several pairs.
so you'll go look at that, Burr, and then give us a report,
And then I get lost.
and then we'll take a look at that and see
Yeah.
if it works.
Okay,
Yeah.
If it works, that's
just the
simple.
one open area, right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Room for
All
growth.
set? Okay, so we'll wait to hear you come up with that proposal.
And once I know if you set a date and time, I'd be happy to be part of that if I can make it, depending on when you guys decide to go up. I don't want you trying to like put it off until a number of us can make it, just set the date that works for you and we can show or not show.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for putting that together.
How far was uses? You got Don's letter,
Yeah,
and so I think the question I have to ask is, do we have any idea how many people have keys now?
No.
Okay. So I would propose we start over.
Yeah,
Change, get it rekeyed, we're not changing the locks or anything, just rekey everything. And I'll get to, I don't have a problem, I think the road crew and the fire chief should have a key. Having said that, I think they should come up,
I'm pretty sure they do.
well, I know, but a new one, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't know how many others are out there.
yeah.
No, I have no idea.
And speaking with myself, I have no problem with not letting anyone up there when there's no one there. Anybody. And as I told you, for whatever reason, I have no idea, the metal, whatever those things are called that were in the dumpster.
The bristles,
No,
brushes.
Yeah, Bartlett put those in there. But we've been
Both
dumping.
Bartlett and Jackson.
Yeah, but I said, Travis, and he said, no, I said, we've always taken them up there, and we put them over in the metal pile, but whoever he gave them to that day, put them in the dumpster, so for that I apologize, but, we don't have
But
any new
they
guys.
do come up, leave a lot of stuff.
But yeah, no, but, so that's why I think I would propose we just don't have any. They come up during the regular hours, and they're there early, I mean, they can come early.
Well, how are people, I mean, just there's so many keys out that people are getting in, or?
I believe they're bringing it up on Wednesday and Thursdays when we're closed.
Right.
So they don't have to worry about people being there.
You talk about the
The highway
contractors?
department. Yeah,
The highway
the highway
department,
department.
okay.
And they throw all their trash in there, the birds get it, and they just pull it
Have a
up and make
field
a
day.
heck of a mess.
Have a 48-hour play day.
And North Conway's been complaining about the stuff that's going in, which, of course, we're not seeing it go in because we're not there.
Yeah. So it's been our crews doing it? Not somebody off, not somebody off the street, that's what
Right,
I'm
it's
saying.
a-
Somebody keeps leaving the gate open on Wednesday and Thursdays. And I've gone by and have gone up and have seen people up there and had to tell them to leave. But North Conway Incinerator says it's not them, but I came the other day to work and it was wide open and North Conway Incinerator was up there. It wasn't Carlos, the normal guy. So, once I get out.
They just don't lock it behind them when they go up, so it
Yeah,
happens.
just hook it, you know, they don't have to lock it, just hook it.
Yeah.
and So the gate's closed.
So is that something we will get rekeyed?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
It seems like it
And-
makes sense.
Just let people know that there's no one, I don't know anyone that
Yeah.
should be up there during the
No.
off hours.
And if it comes up, then we make, we figure it out, but
Alright.
you're not gonna know until you rekey it.
Well, if we
Yes, I guess.
are gonna rekey and only issue keys to the road agent and the fire chief only, and then that secures who's gonna be up there.
Well, yeah, but we need to tell them they can't go there after hours too.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Right.
And then if we put together a clear, concise list of use protocols, like you only to go up there and utilize the transfer station when staff are present. You guys are typically there at 10.
Yep.
So, they've got exclusive use of the place up there between 10 and 12 when it opens for staff, and that should be
That'd be good.
ample time and opportunity for them to get stuff up there before the public is up there and they have to navigate around everywhere. And I think putting that in writing, sending it out to the highway departments and the fire chief, and then everybody's been served notice, this is how it works from here on out. And I think we need to make sure that we do get keys stamped, do not duplicate, right, on it. I mean, that's easy enough to do.
Yeah, when they sign off on the key, have them sign their, that they've received the new procedures or whatever, and there's the
Yeah.
key, and slap.
Probably should, I did add, each town hall should have one, I think, just
Mhm.
so, there's an
That's
emergency,
fair.
there's one
Yeah.
here, someone needs to go up. Who, you wanna call the locks, John,
Yep, I can.
Paul?
Now, we do have like Planet Aid that will come up and they have the lockbox number so they can open it up and come up on a Wednesday or Thursday. And there are a few, North Conway Incinerator has the combination also to the lockbox. So we can also change that number, just so,
What's the lockbox, and get him in?
Gets them into the key.
yeah, so they
Yeah,
can
so-
get a key to
Get
open
the
the
key,
gate.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
Hit it, hide a key, basically.
yeah,
Northcon Incinerator, because they're hauling stuff.
yeah.
But at Planet Aid, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they got 5 other days of the week they can come.
Yeah, see, they're in this area on Wednesdays,
Mm.
so that's why they come up on Wednesday.
Why, this is a foolish question, why do they need to use the transfer station?
It's a central hub for
Yeah.
We
collecting
do
that
get
stuff.
that, we make some money.
Could they be put at that gate? On the other side of the gate?
Are they dropping stuff or
Yes.
taking stuff?
Picking it up.
They're big.
Oh, okay, I thought they were taking their yellow containers and then bringing them to you?
No, they're emptying them. When we clean out the store, if there's
They come to
clothes
you.
and stuff, we put them
Okay.
in the box.
Oh, people can drop them off too, right?
Yeah, a lot of people do.
We get paid tax, not a lot, I don't have the figure in front of me, but
Yeah.
So the lockbox is only Planet Aid and North Conway Incinerator have access to it right now, as far as we know?
Contractors have it.
I would change the key code.
Well, yeah,
Just,
definitely,
yeah,
yes.
just give it to those two and then you're just cutting
Contractors
down.
shouldn't have it, though,
No.
should they?
When they were doing the building, they know it, the number hasn't changed in
But now that it's
Got
a
done.
few years, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, let's rekey the locks and reset the lockbox combo and,
New keys.
yeah, make it, and then have the use procedures distributed in the town so everybody understands. And that should be plenty of opportunity for people to go up and,
I think in the future, if we have contractors up there, we should give them a key, not the combination. Actually,
yeah,
have
I
a couple
agree.
extra
Yeah,
keys
you
at
get the
town hall,
key
they
back
have a
when
key.
you're done.
yeah.
sure.
So we'll wait for,
Well, I think sometimes with that though, I think somebody would be a new driver and they don't necessarily have the key with them. That's kind of was, I thought that one of the lock boxes that those drivers have access to that. No matter who the North Conway
yeah,
Incinerator.
they're fine.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a contractor.
Oh.
It's like when they were working on the building.
Oh, okay,
They need to be able to get in, but,
right, contractors.
They can
so,
have a
so
key.
they would be given a key and then when they were done, they'd have to turn the key
Right,
back in.
right.
That'd be the
I thought you talked
plan.
Right.
You get a deposit, you get your final, we're withholding 5% till you
Yeah,
get the key back. So we'll wait till the locks, till it's rekeyed, and then we'll do the notification.
Should be tight enough, tighten things up enough.
Yeah.
By the way, we're redecking the Valley Cross Road Bridge,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and there will be debris coming up your way.
It started this morning.
Yeah,
I didn't have space for it, so I had them put it out by the tires and
wherever works best for you, I'm sure is fine. All right, and I'll pass the word, officially we'll change this once we get the locks rekeyed and everything, but I'll pass the word,
okay.
if you, let me know if you think you have just because I'm the liaison to the highway department, it's like, do you really need to go up there before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m. on days when we're open? They're gonna say no. Okay, well, make use of it between 10 and 12 if you need to go when the public's not using it. That'd be reasonable enough. It seems reasonable enough.
Hey, the containers, you felt, I didn't have it on the agenda because it came up later.
Yep,
There were 3 containers that were declared unusable.
yeah.
I guess you
We
got
used to
that
have 4, and they red flagged us on 1, so we were down to 3, and then now they red flagged those 3.
So right at the moment, what are you doing?
We had 3 of North Conway,
Okay,
and that's what we've been using.
that we're renting or something, I suppose.
Yeah.
From North Conway Incinerator? Oh, okay. And those 4 containers are just sitting somewhere
About 3.
over on the
We only
side?
have th- Oh, the other one.
There was 4, but
Yeah.
Right,
then we were down to 3, and I was renting one from Kathy for mattresses and stuff, furniture. And I believe it was $150 a month.
Hmm.
But now they're saying that all their spare containers we're using when they could be putting them elsewhere.
They'd probably like them back. And there was 6,000 new and 3,000 used?
So the last time I talked to her, she said if there's used ones out there, they're usually around 3,000.
How long do they last if they're new?
I'm sure the ones that we have are probably 10, 12 years old.
so at the moment, you're functioning, you're all set.
We're
So we need a
Yeah.
couple of used ones,
Yeah.
is what the whole thing for.
And you said if there are used ones, is there a likelihood we could get used ones?
That's what she told me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you don't need them all at once, we can
Right.
say, we
Yeah.
can buy one and keep renting 2 and
Right.
pick away at it.
This
Take away at
Kathy at North Conway
Yes.
is who we would get them from,
Yep.
not NRRA.
I haven't asked them. I went with Kathy because John had information there, and Earl had information there, going through Kathy.
Would
Who's
you
Kathy?
prefer
North
phone
Conway
calls?
Center.
Oh, so it's the same, okay.
Do you need 4 usable containers or is 3 adequate?
These roll-ups?
You really don't,
Roll-ups?
Yeah.
yeah, you really don't know because Friday and Saturday, in a day and a half, we filled 2 containers for Bartlett, which kind of put us in a bind.
Yeah.
But, so I borrowed an old 30-yarder that Kathy had there and just had to put it in that, and when we had a container empty, we dumped it into our container.
Pay as you throw and then you don't fill them. Never mind, I didn't say that.
Don't forget you're on television. Okay, so find out if she's got any, I guess, we don't have, I mean, this is an unbudgeted
I don't,
Right.
expense.
Yep.
Now, and who owns these again? And I don't mean Kathy, I mean, when we have them, are they a joint thing? Or did Jackson have one, and we had 2 or 3, or what's the story?
Earl told me that they were left there, that we never bought them, they were left there. And I believe he said it was from the company before Kathy, but I
There was
didn't know
no
we had
company.
another company.
There was no company before Kathy. Kathy was always been the company.
Yeah,
Well, Eddie, but, yeah, that's always been the company.
but
so what do we have for inventory right now for those roll-offs? How many do we actually have that are working?
out of ours,
Yeah, all the ones that are theirs, I mean, not North County Incinerator, but the ones we actually own, quote unquote.
our 4, they've red flagged.
Mhm.
And then we have, Jackson has an MSW and Bartlett has an MSW.
What's an
And that's,
MSW?
It's for hooking up to the compactor, for putting the waste in, the household trash.
So one,
And then we rent one from,
so 3 total,
Kathy.
1 for Jackson, 1 for Bartlett, 1 rented.
and one's rented.
And the
that's
other one's-
Bartlett rents it.
But we need total of 5 to make it work for you. What would be a magic number?
If we had 4, it would be good because we'd have 3 for construction and 1 for mattresses and stuff furniture.
So we need 2 more basically.
But they're not town specific, they're interchangeable between
2
the
or
2
3.
compactors, you don't keep track,
Trying to
and this
keep
is the
track.
one that only goes on to Bartlett's, and this is the one that only goes on to Jackson's, they're all interchangeable.
So
Yeah.
you put mattresses in
But-
a roll-up though?
No,
I found out I could send mattresses and stuffed furniture in the same container. So that eliminates the hauling charge for having them separated, because mattresses really don't weigh that much. So,
But if you're out in the rain, that's.
but I can clean up both piles and put it in one and just pay 1 hauling fee on it.
Uh-huh.
So-
trying to keep it dry.
That's like saying for the roll-off, there's no cover on a roll-off, right?
No,
So they're gonna get rained on.
they get rained on out there anyway. There's no cover for the,
But if we had a cover for them, that would
But
be
if you put them
ideal.
in like a storage container instead of it, that they're not gonna get wet, would that be worthwhile? Is that gonna save you tipping fees?
yeah, but they're not gonna haul a storage container.
Mm.
You'd have to, you'd have
Yeah,
to,
they need to take it up
load
and,
them for them.
You'd
You
have to
have to come
load
pick them up and you have to load them for 'em.
yeah, and I call them, they come get it and take it up and dump it.
well, yeah, but it is, I don't know how much extra weight, but obviously sitting out there for 2 months, it weighs a lot more.
No, I don't stockpile them all.
But anyway, I'm sorry to have to ask this question, but I hate to admit this on camera, but somewhat confused about this container situation now. How many we have up there? I'm sorry, but you said you have 2 MSWs,
Yeah,
Bartlett has 1
and rents one.
And that's one.
and 1 rental,
Yep,
and Jackson has 1,
yep.
okay? And then, go ahead.
That's it, our 4 roll-offs were red flagged.
So they're there, but they're not used.
But then you've got 3 more up there now, you said.
But we're renting those.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I mean, we
But
have
she
6.
wants,
She wants those back.
She wants them back.
I got that. But
So
we
we have to buy
so we
3.
have 3 rentals.
Really 4.
roll-offs.
And 4 red flagged that are not usable.
Right. So we have 3 MSW containers, 2 we own, 1 we own, 1 we rent. And then now, right now, 3 rental roll-offs.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
But you said there was one up there.
We
you
do a 30-yarder for the glass, that's Kathy's.
Okay.
And besides that, that's it.
Do we rent that or she provides that for payment for hauling?
I think she rents it to us because it was there before I got there.
And they swap it in and out. They swap an
Yeah.
empty one in for the whole glass thing when they take it.
It stays there pretty much all the time because it doesn't have any holes in it or anything. And where we're putting glass in it, because we break the glass down before we put it in it. And so,
So I don't know what, I haven't checked the status of our special article account that we, I would assume we must be to the end of it, but we may not be, we may have some left.
I've looked in.
That'd be the first thing to look, because you had one too, right, for last year's 2018 work.
Yeah, isn't there 2 loads of aluminum up there now? And if you sold 2 loads of aluminum, that's like 30 grand, isn't it?
There's 1 and
No, it
almost
depends on the
2.
market.
One full load and then almost 2, right? Is that what? It's almost enough for a second load.
Yes.
Okay.
They're coming, I haven't got the confirmation date out yet, but they're coming to pick up 1 load on the
But
cans.
that's been 3 months now, they've been coming, right?
No, I just called them this week.
Oh,
And they were supposed to get back with me yesterday on the date. I haven't heard.
so for those joint owners, we do have some money in the transfer
account.
station account.
Yeah,
I'd hate to see it dwindle too much, because it has been dwindling, but still it was 31-something thousand dollars in the account
right.
balance right now.
Soon to be umpteen thousand more.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that, there's also the question, what do we do when we have unforeseen needs come up
Right.
that require resources? And it's like 10 months away from March. So that's a kind of a separate issue, but it's one that we need to have a conversation about. So we do have a plan, but in the meantime, we do have an account and we have some more coming in. And we have a need for 4 containers, an established need. We're renting 3 and the renter wants them back. 4 used containers is $12,000. It seems like they were welded and the weld didn't hold, but not that I'm opposed to taking another look at it, but it seems like we should be trying to get 3 or 4 used containers.
Now, Bob said, he said he thought he could weld 1 or 2 or something.
He thought he could, he said that he's sure he could do it. I talked to the drivers from North Conway Incinerator, and he said that the DOT pulled them over for him and took pictures of them and said he didn't want to see them on the road anymore.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah.
Are they
in the
worth,
shape- in the
are they
shape
worth
they're-
anything in the shape they're in to get rid of? How do you get rid of them?
Load them with steel and haul them to the scrap.
Um,
One way.
Yeah.
there is somebody that said they would buy them if we wanted to get rid of them. But I have
So,
no
I mean,
idea
yeah.
which would be,
I mean,
Liquor said they
it'd
would.
be a small amount, I'm
Liquor.
sure, but it would help offset.
But if
costs.
DOT, I mean, they said they couldn't use them that way, but if they were fixed,
They're pretty rusted, and it would take quite a lot to get them up to standard. If you open the doors, they drop down, so the drivers are complaining about that, and the sides are bowing out and cracking. And in the front of them, there's 2 wheels that lock in, and that holds the container to the truck, and then they chain it in the back. And those wheels that lock in are breaking off. so
Sound beyond welding.
It's,
so we want to move ahead and try to get 4 used ones, and if we get 1, just get them as we can get them.
Yeah.
If you get 1 or 2,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then see how much we can get for the old ones.
And you're thinking they're gonna pick those cans up next week?
Soon, I hope.
Hopefully, yeah.
I can give Bonnie a call.
Even so, we got enough in the account, I think, yeah.
But you have 2 loads, right? You have 2 loads.
Well,
One and a
One and a-
partial.
The
Soon to be
that
10.
tractor trailer has, I believe, 50 bales in it. And I need 60, at least 60 to have them come get it.
I got about 5 more bales in my house.
I was
I'll
gonna
bring
say
them up.
summer's coming.
They've been coming in,
I saved
Yeah,
one.
I was
I thought you said you
NFL
had
on
one,
Sunday, huh?
No, I don't.
that's another one. 2 loads.
do another neighborhood.
I have
day,
almost
get hold of the bed.
One's
I
complete
have
and
one,
one's
one's
almost
complete, and one is
Within 10 bales of
like
the
10 bales shy of another load.
Okay, so call Kathy, I guess, and see when she can get a
Yep.
block here. And we'll just keep renting until we can find something. Yeah. Okay, that's it. The joint checking account issue, is there anything to do on
So,
that?
I have some handouts here, they're just recaps of some information that I put together from the bank activity, so, might be interested in seeing these two. So the first page is the deposits, and we talked about breaking it out and accounting for it by town, so that's what the first 2 columns are, and that's the cash and checks that you guys collect when you're up there and people have to drop off money. Then their miscellaneous amounts that are in the deposit are from the NRRA and Planet Aid. So that adds up to the deposits that go in the bank for just the miscellaneous, so no other miscellaneous. And there's as you can see, there's very little cash over and short that has to be accounted for, and it, to me, that's not a concern. So it's a little over $11,000. And then I didn't have the May bank statement yet. So page 2 on front and back is the disbursements since the first of the year. And those are they're 100% checkbook. They're not broken out by Jackson or Bartlett or anything like that. So, and they're pretty much the same vendors each month. So you can see that. And then like where it was like payable to Donnie, I put mileage, or if there were different months that were accounted for, it just helped account for some of the different things that may not be logical to keep track of. So that just lists out what the different monthly expenses are. And then the last page has the Northeast Resource Recovery Association and Planet Aid checks that are on that first deposit page. So I had a question on this part where the first check was bales and cans and then a deduction for hauling fees. So the net check was $1,200. I don't know why they deduct hauling fees and then we also pay them a check for other fees. So that part I was confused on, because are we, like the hauling fees on the second check were $446 and $661. And then there was another check that they dropped there that they gave us, but it deducted hauling fees as well. So what's the difference between what they're deducting on the checks that they give us versus the checks that we write them?
Well, they're different, like the scrap metal part, that's a different,
That's the income side. On the expense side, like what they're deducting from our check for
Right.
hauling fees. So that's deducted from the amount they're paying us.
Right.
So we're also writing them checks though. What are we writing them checks for?
The other things they haul besides these, I would imagine.
I'm wondering why they deduct some and why we pay them some versus one or the other. I guess I'd rather we just pay them everything and they pay us gross without deducting anything from our checks, because it's a little bit easier to account for it, I think. I'll be happy to call and find out the detail or come back and look at some of the exact invoices. I'm just not sure if you look
well, I
at,
don't see that I only see one.
voting dues on February 12th to the NNRA.
There's one for-
there's $138 on check number 3023.
What date?
I'm sorry, January 14th. And then the $225 is what did you say, Vicki? Is that,
No, that one
Oh.
doesn't say what it is, but
I see.
above that.
Right, that one
on
said
the
voting
same date,
dues.
there's voting dues, and then if you
Right.
go down on the same date, there's another one for 225 that doesn't say what it's for.
right, and then there's another check on March 26th, number 3042 for $1,539.60. So, you know, we pay them a fair amount. I didn't bother with interrupting Brenda that day that I got all this information together, but I guess I'd like to at least go back and look at the invoices that we pay and then see what they're deducting from the checks that they pay us and make sure that we're not getting things confused
Yeah, I'll let
between the
Brenda pull
hauling
those and
fees.
send them up to you.
Yeah, I can stop by too. She's really great about pulling things aside for me. Either way is fine, but I can work with her to get that. So, but this basically gives us a detail of what's coming and going in the account. We talked about wanting to know what was accounted, or what was attributed to Bartlett versus Jackson. So I think this gives us a pretty good idea on the income side of it, and then on the hauling fees, on the revenue side, or, you know, the income side with the bales and cans and the scrap. I'm not sure if there's a way that we had, you know, maybe the 60-40 formula or something like that we can attribute it. So if we wanted to impute something like that as a percentage, we could, and just say that what amount we would have for Bartlett income, Jackson income, and then put the expenses to a similar percentage, but,
Is that spelled out in our contract?
yeah, but
The
is, how,
percentages for recyclables?
I don't know if it is, but I also don't know if that's current too, so is that,
Yeah.
you know, is that the right way to represent it currently? Who knows?
I
right?
think it is because, like, we don't have a contract. But I think we're still abiding by the terms of the
Yeah,
old
yeah.
contract.
Right.
So I would say yes.
Yes,
But there's a couple of things that I think, you know, that make this seem like a good idea to me. Number one is, I think, yeah, getting these answers from Northeast Recovery Association is a good idea.
yeah,
And being in touch. Now, who was the woman? She's retired. The one that was, this,
Maryland?
Marilyn's gone. She's retired, so there's a new head. But to get in touch with them
Yeah.
and get some
I'll
details.
establish that relationship.
Number one. Number two, if you remember Dennis Patnode up in Lancaster, he was doing less and less business with Northeast over time Recovery Association, not for any other reason than he was able to find better deals over time. And if we know, so it may look good on paper, but if the hauling fees are exorbitant and it eats into everything we're doing, then maybe there is a better deal out there. And if we can really get to the bottom of what are we netting for doing this with them, what could we net for doing business with a different association? Hey, I'm all for somebody putting the time into that kind of thing. If you've got the time and you're willing to make the calls and get the information, and Dennis Patno too, he's still up there. He's a great resource. He can tell you who he uses for this, that, and the other thing. And Julie's got his cell phone.
Okay.
You want to drive up? He's a real personable guy. So I don't have a problem with, you know.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll get more invoice detail and check deposit detail.
I'll get
And then
those from Brenda and get them up to you.
Sounds good. And that you can scan and email them if you want, that's easier, we can all do that. But then, you know, we'll
Fax, how's
touch
that?
base. Fax, what's that?
Yeah.
Facsimile machine.
And then I'll work with you to, you know, see what kind of per prices we're getting and see if we can get a better deal. All
Okay.
right.
That's all
And
set on
again,
that?
thanks to Brenda for making all this available to me. She was very helpful.
And are we, it wasn't on the agenda, but I do recognize that we've got one of the selectmen here. Is there any new news to report under old business?
I believe everybody received, when we had asked you guys for the breakdown, I believe everyone got a copy of that email. And then Mark had emailed me to say what's up, and I said, we simply haven't met since you emailed that. And it was my suggestion that actually one of you could come so that the information wasn't getting passed through me anymore. I thought
Sure.
more direct. So I don't know how, Mr. Chairman, you want to proceed.
No, go ahead.
with the
If you have
conversation.
anything.
I'm sorry, this whole meeting to me was very short notice. I just
No, we
found
know
out.
it is, yeah.
Basically, what I'm here to do is get some information from you guys and answer any questions you might have about us either doing just recycling at the dump or some sort of all-in program with a fee. Something was brought up about a chunk of money for infrastructure to invest into it too. So basically, I'm just here to feel it out and where you guys are at. So at the next meeting, we can decide what we're gonna do.
I'm sorry, but can I, who are you?
Sorry, my name's Guy Putnam.
And
I'm
you-
a selectman with Hearts Location.
Okay.
And,
Thank you.
yeah, Hearts Location has
Yeah.
been looking
I remember
into
that part
joining
from
in
the
with
last
us. Yeah,
meeting.
okay.
Got it, thank you.
Well, I'm glad you're here, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and this has been a great meeting for you to come in on. I mean, obviously.
I've learned a lot already.
You know,
You guys got your hands full.
our expenses are real, and we're trying to make things balanced. In a perfect world, we could figure out a way to run revenue neutral, or in the black, or lessen the red, or whatever, but, yeah, there's a lot to it,
Absolutely.
obviously, so, I don't think any of us was opposed to bringing you on, in some sort of a partnership that worked for everybody, but every time someone from your township would come up to use the transfer station, there would be equipment that always breaks down that will need to be used
Yeah, I
for,
understand.
for Hearts Location stuff too. So to us, it made sense when we had that discussion that there would be some sort of a contractual arrangement. But I don't know that we got it. You would remember more than I would. Vicki, did we get into any more detail than that?
No, what we had talked about was an initial investment in the infrastructure because they're coming into a place that our citizens have invested in over the years. We didn't come up with an amount, but I believe the figure of 10,000 was put out there. It wasn't agreed upon, but so
Yeah,
we
that's the
wanted to
number I
know.
received.
So we basically sent that to you to see if, are you willing to continue the conversation knowing there would be
Yes,
an
absolutely.
investment?
Yes.
Okay.
Per month.
Per month. 10,000.
No, that was the initial
See ya.
to buy into,
Right. No, I-
and then we never got anywhere in figuring out how would we
Formula.
Cost it
determine.
out.
Yeah,
Right.
formula.
Yeah, we never got to that part. And the email, that you had asked me to ask them, well, what are you spending right now? And that's the email that, and I could pull that up if people
Yeah.
wanted that specific information right now. So the conversation never proceeded beyond that. We asked them for information, they provided it, but we haven't met since they provided that
Right.
information.
Yeah. Okay, I guess, so the bottom line is you're interested in doing everything?
Yes, either or.
Or just-
Right now, we're just entertaining whatever can be offered by you people.
Yeah.
We use 620 yards of dumpster material going out every year. It costs us $7,420. If we broke that down and got the recyclables out of it, it'd be considerably lower. So the first conversation we had as selectmen is I brought to the board that we should engage with you guys to see if we could at least drop off fee items, metals, aluminums, anything you make money off of that someone in the town could pay. That would help you guys. The conversation went from there to what about the whole use of the facility? And that's kind of where we're stuck.
I think the biggest issue with the whole thing is where would you dump your trash? Because we keep it separate, so it would have to be, we'd have to figure out how to charge you for the trash.
Okay.
And then we dump it in 6 months in Jackson and then 6 months in Bartlett. I don't know, that's the biggest issue. Because we have 2 compactors.
Do you have a larger tourist resident in the summer or the winter? We can claim our 6 months right now.
Right. So that's the issue. The recyclables, that isn't so much of an issue on,
Nor the things that everybody pays to dump, like
Right.
mattresses and things like that. I think that would be easier to figure out, but again, we have 2 separate general.
Okay, what would a compactor cost? Does anybody have that idea?
No idea.
Now, I don't know.
No,
Space would be the other, where would we put it down there?
I think,
And then monitoring, that's
Right.
another, that's
No,
adding
that's-
on
that's,
to,
more-
you guys have another whole bunch of people you get to argue with.
So it sounds like though, that you wouldn't have that much trash. If you
Not at
took
all.
your- If you took your recyclables out, even if you had to keep your own
Yeah.
trash thing, it's pretty.
We'd probably end up with, this is a rough guesstimate, probably half of it would be gone. I mean, we don't have any way to recycle, and every property in town has a metal pile in it right now. And we're trying to remedy that. We are right at the mouth of the river and just
Yeah.
trying to do the environmental thing.
right. That's noble. I think that the fact that this is the level of the conversation we're having indicates to me there's a fair solution out there if there's a will to move forward, and I certainly makes sense on a number of fronts in my mind.
So if you started with, say, just the recyclables for now, right? Would they haul them to would you guys bring them to the transfer station?
Yeah,
yourselves?
each individual resident would have to drop them themselves.
Okay.
And then it would involve stickers on the vehicles and,
Yeah.
Fee.
right, and you, I would assume that they would come to you to get, you would have to figure out the sticker thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like just if you started with the recyclables, they have so little other trash.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's hard to justify setting up a whole compactor and everything.
No,
for that
that's
small
not
amount of
easy.
trash. you
Well,
know?
no, it's not that. Then who's gonna pay for it? Ballard or Jackson? It's
Right.
gotta go in one compactor or the other.
Right.
Well, and the other issue is, okay, so we say just
Huh?
recyclables,
Yeah.
but let's say there's someone who's
track
renting a place in Hart's
Oh, yeah, that's what I
location,
mean, yeah.
and besides recyclables, they bring in general garbage, and they're
Yeah.
trying to throw it in
I
the
mean, it all sounds
compactor.
good.
That's
And then-
inevitable.
Then Don has to, once again, you have to deal with that
Police
enough, and
them.
I don't want to add that on. So we'd need a willingness from the crew to recognize, to help us figure out where what we're missing, you know.
The recyclable thing, I think,
Yep.
that would probably work at a minimum. I don't know if that's of an interest or not.
Oh, absolutely.
And the trash thing we can think about, but I think that's a little more problematic, I think.
Yeah, if you can separate the trash out and manage that part at your level, and the recyclables and the metals and all the other things at our level, that may be able to work out. But taking out the recyclables obviously would be helpful.
Yeah, that was the
You-
initial
user level.
idea, is
Yeah.
we'd have everybody separate everything. We'd end up with the garbage, and you guys would end up making what little there is nowadays on recycling.
What about the metals piece? Would we allow folks to clean up their yards and bring metals to our metal pile? Tell us what you
Well,
think.
yeah, I mean,
I don't see why not.
Okay,
That's
so
a
that's
cost.
part of the
There's a charge for
recycling.
that. I mean, it's- yeah.
Okay.
no, not for metal.
Metal.
No, you
No,
don't
we
charge
don't
for
charge,
that?
We don't
no.
charge for the metals.
Because
Metal might be.
Just
What-
furniture?
mattresses we charge for, what else do we charge?
TVs,
Electronics.
electronics,
Yeah, all that.
Construction.
So they'd basically go by everything, all the rules in your dump, all the feed prices and all that?
Right.
Okay.
You know, I think it would be, you know, just, you're gonna be the salesman on that one to say, don't disobey and don't make it a burden to the folks that work up there every
Yeah.
day by bringing your trash and making them be your police, because then the deal will be off
Yeah.
and, you know, you'll be back to
And I would
square
go so
one.
far as to say,
you know,
and you wouldn't get your initial investment back.
Exactly, you know, I mean, make
I
it
don't-
worth their while. I mean,
It's not a vote, but I would say that.
yeah, but it,
Yeah.
you know, I think it's a great solution, and you guys are doing, you know, wanting to
Yeah,
do
it
the right
helps us
thing, so.
immensely with the amount of metal that is now, like, you know, in everybody's yards and what have you. The Notchland Inn isn't interested in, and they're the only business that would even be involved in
Yeah.
this. They're interested in, you know, paying to drop off furniture, and that's the only capacity they would use it for at all. They have their own dedicated dumpster.
Oh, okay.
The same with the campground. They don't want to get involved with a town issue. They have their own little thing they're working out. Yeah, just residents. Right now, we have a maximum of 100, and half of those are seasonal. It's a very small amount of people.
Why don't you, I'll get you up, either I'll mail it or, I don't know, somehow we'll get you the current price structure.
I
Okay.
believe he could go right on the website and get it, right? Is that information available on the website, the transfer station information and the
Yeah, should
fee
be.
structure? I think I saw it there, but.
It's easy
Okay.
enough.
Yeah.
Just so you know, what, people may decide they may not want to do it based on what they see they have to pay. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
No, I understand. What we'd end up doing is posting it on our town website also. And sending a flyer out to everybody in town, letting them
Say,
know.
this is what you want to
Yeah.
do, or,
So is this a contractual agreement between Hart's location and the Bartlett Jackson transfer station, or town of Bartlett, town of Jackson? I mean, are we gonna have to write something up? I mean, we have things that exist, and so we can figure that out in some way, shape, or form. I'm almost wondering if some clear contractual arrangement that breaks out, because we have a math whiz here on the committee, what their expected share of the solid waste disposal would be, that just full transfer station use would be the easiest way to go,
Including trash?
including
Well,
trash.
because then we don't have to have an extra monitoring piece going on up there.
And, you know, we have, you know, yeah, rules in place for recycling and everything else, and then the agreement would be that they would agree to abide by the rules and regulations in place for use of the transfer station, and it's just, to me, in some ways, I think that would be the simplest way.
And then which compactor would that general trash go into? That's still the unanswered piece.
Right.
Could they do a
And-
paper bag?
Well, if it goes into one
That doesn't matter which one
Compactor.
goes in, right?
and then there's a percentage of that that everybody agrees is fair, would be considered to be Hart's location share of solid waste, then that bill, and chime in here, Barbara, if this doesn't seem like it works, but then that invoice for the solid waste bill would be between them and the town whose compactor they're
Right.
using.
But if they need a paper bag, right, so they're buying the bag separate from the transfer station, so it's not for
Do a
thing,
pay
but
as
we
you throw.
take the money for the paper bag. You know what I'm saying? So you're starting getting paid for the trash right away, so it doesn't matter whose compactor goes into it.
Well, he's got data for what they've,
Yeah.
you know, gotten rid of and everything. I don't know. I think there's some sort of a mathematical formula that would seem like a fair solution and
Yeah.
reasonable, no matter whose dumpster it went in, and then that town would would invoice for their share. You know, the selectmen in Hearts would agree that that's a fair amount, and the
Yeah.
selectmen in
I mean, unless
Jackson
there,
would
yeah, unless there's
agree,
a
and
major
that's whose
fluctuation in your
dumpster you'd
population
use.
in the next few years, I'm sure it would, you know, you've got data like you
I would
said.
only
Once
point
they
out-
get that cell tower, you don't know.
I
You
would
don't
point out
know, we'd have to
When is that
reevaluate.
coming?
this is the reason we
God
have two
only knows.
compactors.
Yeah.
Because no one could agree on what a fair distribution was.
Right.
Between us, the two towns.
Mhm.
That's why we have two instead of just one. So,
New day and age, I'll bet we could now, but at any rate.
Whatever.
But
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
the system's in
true.
place, and so
But
we
I
move
think
forward.
the fact that they have the data ahead of time helps for sure. And then the fact that it's not as large an amount as our
Right.
two towns have, it's not even
Right.
It's a
No,
neighborhood
it's a-
near town.
a very
Yeah.
small
Right.
Not to
amount.
be a broken record, but doesn't the paper bag just take out that whole question mark of
Paper bag,
paper bag?
Pay as
So
you
they
go.
pay-
pay as you throw, you mean?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
paper bag as
Yeah.
they throw, so they pay $2 or $3 a bag.
And-
We, you know, the Bartlett Jackson gets the money, so if they bring 100 bags at $2, we get $200. If they bring 5 bags, we get $10, you know what I'm saying? So then we're metering how much is coming in.
And then you
by
have your
bag.
chest case for pay
Right.
to throw.
Yeah.
well, what makes you think House location is gonna go for pay for your throw?
because they're reasonable. Everybody that voted against that in Jackson was unreasonable.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Apparently that was a majority.
I know. Obviously, I'm not running for reelection.
Yeah, my thought on it is it's not a bad idea.
But you can't, but then you're gonna have recyclables in the bag. The idea of the pay for throw thing is
Yeah,
that people
I
can put
mean,
everything in it.
Honestly, I wouldn't, I hear what you're saying and that would solve some things, but just the fact that it could be a test case, I would like to start about something very simplified where it's the same thing as what we're doing now, because again, you're gonna have to be the policeman if they come up here with pay as you throw, and, you know, it adds a factor in if we're gonna make a decision on this now versus voting on it or taking it to March or something.
Let's figure out what the cost would be. I think there are good sides to both.
Yeah,
Good points to both sides, but I think in the meantime, I mean, if we can, you know, figure out what's a fair and equitable cost for A, buy-in, and B, using the operation on a regular basis, and I think that I think it makes sense to me, full privilege.
Yeah. And what do you think your citizens would prefer, the full thing? If they could get that, is that preferable?
It would be for them.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, in terms of numbers, you can go off that, what your data is now, and, you know,
Yeah.
adjust it
Make the-
one way or the other for,
But what we could do is,
Non-recyclables.
if we did just the recycling to start, we could have a more solid number on what you'd get in garbage itself.
there you go. Pull that out right away.
Yeah, and you'd know exactly what you're getting. August is our busiest month of the year, it's probably yours too. We do 100 yards in that month alone. The rest is roughly
But
5 or 6 yards a month.
Yeah, but you feel like it would be a lot less because
Taking out the
you're gonna be
recycling.
taking out the.
Yeah, we have people
recyclables.
throwing whole stoves and wood stoves in the dumpster, which I have to fish out so that we don't get charged for them.
Wow, I'm glad
And then
I'm
I
not
drive them
selected
down
in your
to
town.
Rickers,
yeah.
so
I don't fish out wood stoves. I don't do
it's
that.
not fun.
So where are we leaving this right now?
Yeah.
I think number one, it makes sense to me that we schedule next meetings when we have meetings, just because it really seems to take us a long time to put meetings together. I mean, to me, I think we would, you know, I'd love to have a meeting before the end of July. If we could schedule a time for a meeting, and then in the interim, there could be some sort of I mean, Vicky, if you guys want to work together to come up with what you believe is a fair solution, if anybody in Jackson wants to join and be a committee of 3 and work this out, I think we need a solid proposal brought to us.
Right.
And I'd prefer to see it be, it be full privileges. And then I think we should be prepared to vote on that at our next meeting.
Okay, that's fine, but is that committee gonna propose, which, I can still get back to the trash in the dumpster. That's the only
Yeah.
issue here, is what happens to that trash.
Well, I think.
Is that committee gonna make a recommendation on that too?
In my mind, they're gonna crunch some
Right.
numbers, they're gonna do some math, and they're gonna come up with what they believe is a fair amount for them to be responsible for in the dumpster they use. And I have a lot of trust in the people on the transfer station committee. If there's one from each town, I think they'll come back with a fair number, and they can use Jackson's as far as I'm concerned, if everybody feels like the number's fair.
Yeah.
Well, we have one from Bartlett.
Huh?
We have one from Bartlett.
So we need someone from the other side of the table.
Right.
Right.
Okay,
I can do that.
You wanna do it?
Sure.
Okay.
okay, so
So
the
what,
three of you guys will.
You,
but prior to we sitting down, what I would like is for the 3 of you to come up with a proposal so that we're actually sitting down and working from something
Okay.
Right.
rather than creating
Creating
it.
it.
Right, and also you have to go back and figure out if you do want a full in, all in, or if you do.
Yeah,
want
I
to
can't
just do
make a decision
recyclables,
for the
so you
whole
can-
town.
Sure,
Right,
sure,
right.
sure.
And that's
Right.
why
But
everybody-
I
It's gonna be a
agree, I think-
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we set that date, it gives us an end date to where we can make a decision, and you guys are coming up on your busiest month, so.
Yeah,
So
well,
you-
we have a meeting Monday, so what I'll do is, I'll try and get those numbers crunched and then an offer to you.
Okay, and you have
By
my
the
email
end of
at
that day,
least,
yes.
and you might have everybody's, and then we'll come up with a time we can sit down and.
and what I feel we're having here is a conversation about a long-term relationship. And so that I wouldn't be looking to do something so, well, once everybody's yard's cleaned up, they're all done and back out and doing their own thing. I would want to go through the time and the effort to come up with a long-term arrangement.
Well, we could do a multi-year contract too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in addition to that, as a new endeavor, I would like some flexibility to tweak things as we learn new information, in particular as we get information from Dawn. This is working, this isn't. So I want everyone to agree that the initial plan might need to be tweaked.
Well, that's the idea of a contract. You
Right.
put 2 years on it, and then you get 2 years of
Okay.
data to collect and
All right.
review. And again, when, you know, we're not talking a huge amount of money from,
You want to
Sure.
join us?
Do you have any other concerns, Don, that we're not thinking about? Donnie, do you have any other concerns that we're not thinking about?
No?
Okay. Sounds good.
Do you
Okay.
Just more
foresee
people.
any, I was going to say, but do you foresee this leading to having to hire someone else? I mean, that's something I would want to know in advance, what,
No, I don't really think so.
okay. Because of the small number of people. Okay.
what is the population?
Right now, 45 people.
And in August?
150.
It fluctuates from, say, 80 to 130.
Okay,
Depends on who comes up to the summer house.
yeah, right,
It's not a solid number. I can
sure,
throw
sure.
out.
We can't get any more solid
won't hold you to
than that
it.
either. So let's get it.
What does the Notchland do with their trash?
That goes to North Country in the
Yeah,
city.
they all,
They're separate from the town?
Yeah.
all businesses have to do that.
Yeah, they're on
This would
it.
just be
Oh, yeah, I
residential,
mean,
that's
it's nice
it.
Yep.
to know, because that's,
Well, they don't have to do that.
Well, it was-
We just told them if they don't recycle, they're gonna have to. and they
right,
chose
well, we
not
don't
to.
accept Storyland trash, we don't
Right.
accept,
Well, but only because they don't
We used to,
recycle.
they
Right.
didn't follow the rules.
Right, yeah.
So that would
Okay.
be good, if there was a timeline where you guys felt like you could come in here back to our next meeting, once we set the date with an endorsed recommendation of Hart's location and your ad hoc committee, then we'll be ready to.
I'm going to throw out there that until the end of the school year, my availability is pretty limited.
Okay.
But like the last week in June would certainly work for me.
and also you don't get a key. No, kidding.
Wouldn't there, if our town halls all had
Didn't.
keys, maybe their town.
Okay, we all set on that?
I feel like you have what you need now?
I do.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Thank you guys for your time.
No, I appreciate
Thanks
for
you.
meeting
I
you.
know it was
Thanks for
short
coming
notice.
out.
and
Yeah, well, I found out today, Mark's like.
That's really short
"We need to
notice."
get up there, I'm like, okay.
good thing the horse and buggy was running, huh?
Usually I have paperwork and a notebook, but today I just got my cell phone, so. But yeah, thank you for your time, and I'll get on this, we'll
Okay,
get the
cool.
numbers crunched and
I see it as.
do it
a
as quickly
very
as
positive.
possible, so we don't turn this into something that drags out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Any members of the public have anything to add?
When do we pick lines? Do we have any line date?
Do I have to go sit back here? I have a question for Dawn, from the school. Their paper recycling was refused. What do we need to do?
It wasn't refused, I just told them they needed to separate it.
Oh, they took it.
No, yeah,
No.
we
You-
took it, what they did was they dumped
Everything.
mail, construction paper, everything in with the newspapers.
Okay.
And we had to pick all that up. And if he put it over in Windows 6, it would have been fine. And all I said was, you just need to read the signs and put it where it goes.
I can see one of the problems because all of our recycling buckets are kept in one area and they pull up to load them. And I'll notice when I go there, there's one that's labeled newspapers only and it's full of all the other stuff. So I'm almost thinking maybe if it's newspapers only, the barrel's going to be separate from where the other ones are, sort of thing. Okay, so we'll work on that one then. Thank you.
They're not the only one.
Oh,
Anyone else in the
Anything
public?
from Sir Lines-a-Lot?
I have not tried again, but I've not heard anything. Chip, is that okay?
Is there anybody else in
Yeah,
town?
Chip had it.
Okay. I'll try him again.
Is there anybody else in town?
So Dom's a lot? No, I don't know. I'm just
Are
using.
there any pavement asphalt guys or anything that would just?
No, I could probably
lines or-
call Permit Drive or somebody like that,
Yeah.
see if they
Yeah.
paint. Maybe they paint. Call
Not that I know of.
Let's give them one
I
more
know,
shot and
there- yeah,
then look
there's another,
around.
yeah, there's a guy up in,
Yeah. Pat knew him. I mean, Pat really gave me his cell phone number. He's like, oh yeah, he does me favors. Maybe I should have Pat.
when you leave him a message next time, tell him that this is his last chance before we find somebody else and see if he calls you back any quicker.
I mean, this is like.
Trust me, he does airports. Doing the Bartlett Jackson transfer station is not really too far up on his list.
Yeah, but I mean,
He's doing it as a
well, but
favor.
I know, but
Yeah.
really then, let's see if we can
Yeah.
get somebody else and get it done, because it seems
Isn't
like
there
it's
a
been a
company in
long
Berlin?
time. There's
I can look, I'll
actually,
look, I can look,
Yeah.
I'll look, I can look in the.
Central Asphalt, I know, does, you know, like driveways and lines and stuff, and they're a smaller company from Jefferson that used them before for business.
Probably rent this spread.
Yeah.
Do something, it's not much in the way of line.
Yeah.
Rocket science, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
And when you guys talk, don't, consider pay as you throw, a pay as you throw back. I mean, maybe that's the easiest, simplest way for them, too.
Will do.
Maybe not.
Bobby
Maybe
got a
not.
lot of information on that. There's some flyers left in the office still, right?
That's right.
Okay, thank you. We now will entertain a motion to go into non-public session.
I'll make a motion, we go into non-public session
Personnel issue.
for New Hampshire RSA 91.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, nice to meet you.
Do I have a
See you
second?
later.